Good afternoon, I'm Herman Green with the Midday News. A special welcome to those of you watching on onespotmedia.com. A reminder as well, you can watch TVJ live by downloading our One Spot Media app in the Google Play Store or the App Store. That's the number 1, followed by the word Spot Media. Criticism still looms over the controversial Special Zones of Operations Act, which was passed through the House of Representatives on Wednesday evening. As the bill moves closer to becoming law, opposition spokesman on justice, Senator Mark Golding, is criticizing the review process. He argues that the Joint Select Committee did not get enough room for a more rigorous analysis.
Part of the problem with this exercise is that this is a very far-reaching bill, but they've decided to have this Joint Select Committee exercise. But it's really a farce because it had 2 substantive sittings, the second of which was yesterday. There was a sitting to honor the leaving former Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller, at the end of which they presented a report on the Joint Select Committee's deliberations with various decisions and so on that they were purporting to make, and expected people to just sign it. And we were not willing to sign it without a chance of having read it.
A man was apprehended by members of the Hawkeye security team after he allegedly robbed a female Hawkeye employee yesterday evening. Reports indicate that the staff member was exiting an ATM machine when the man approached her on a bike asking for directions. After stating that she could not assist as she did not know the area, the man reportedly revealed that he had a firearm and proceeded to rob the woman of her belongings, including her bank cards and mobile phone. The employee returned to the Hawkeye office and advised armed guards, who set up a sting operation to apprehend the man. Upon catching him, his bag was searched and several items were discovered, including over 3 dozen bank cards, health cards, and high-end mobile phones. An 18-year-old woman and a man are in custody following the seizure of a high-powered rifle during anti-narcotics operations in St. Elizabeth yesterday. About 3:30 in the afternoon, a car was searched in Goshen. The loaded weapon was reportedly found in the trunk. Several cartridges and a binocular were also found inside the vehicle. 32-year-old Leon Francis, a higgler of Greater Portmore, St. Catherine, and 18-year-old Aliyah Johnson of Wallen Avenue, Old Brayton in St. Catherine, were arrested. Detectives suspect that the illegal firearm and other items entered the island in the guns for drugs trade between Jamaica and Haiti. It has been revealed that 141 persons were murdered in Jamaica between June 1 and Tuesday of this week. This is the highest monthly figure since the May 2010 Tivoli Gardens operation. 136 persons were killed last month. Up to Tuesday, 712 persons had been murdered in Jamaica since the start of the year, compared to 593 during the corresponding period last year, an increase of 119 or 20.1%. St. James continues to be a major concern to the police high command. The parish has recorded 138 murders so far this year, followed by the St. Catherine North Division with 70. Westmoreland had 68 homicides and Clarendon 65. An investigation by the Office of the Contractor General, OCG, has found that there was a deviation from government procurement guidelines in the controversial $600 million drain cleaning and debushing program. The findings are contained in the OCG's report, which was tabled in the House of Representatives yesterday. The report states that contracts awarded under $100 million should be approved by the head of the National Works Agency, NWA, and the National Contracts Commission, but this was not done. In fact, the National Contracts Commission was notified weeks after the contracts were executed. The OCG also cited that the process which led to the selection of the 5 contractors lacked transparency and accountability. It also noted that subcontractors selected the laborers who did the debushing and drain cleaning, and in some instances under little or no supervision from the main contractors. Meanwhile, the OCG said it was unable to substantiate claims that the drain cleaning and debushing program was a means of repaying contractors for contributions made to the Jamaica Labour Party. Steps have been taken by the Health Ministry to address recent complaints about more noxious fumes at sections of the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Winston Delahaye says the possible cause has been identified and action will be taken. The nursery at the hospital was evacuated on Tuesday due to the fumes. Several nurses did not turn up for work. Dr. Delahaye, who traveled to the Cornwall Regional Hospital yesterday for a site visit, has concluded that an old structure on the property is at the center of the recent complaints.
When I look through the whole history of what's been happening, the reports we've had since last year, October, November, when all of this started, the only structure which has had nothing done to it is the chimney stack and the boiler room. It's the only thing that we've flagged as a potential source of problems for obvious reasons. The boiler emits fumes from the burn field. There's one LPG and one what we call bunker seal. And so in particular, the bunker seal could be responsible for some of this. That chimney has been there since the hospital was commissioned in 1972. It is very clear that there are breaches in the chimney stack.
And Dr. Delahaye says he has outlined the work which started yesterday at the Cornwall Regional Hospital based on the complaints.
In terms of immediate action, we've removed, and that's complete. They started work last night, completed the removal of the 15 children on the special care nursery to the 7th floor, which is open, windows on all sides, open windows. There's no air-conditioned duct system there at all. And the level of complaints from that area compared to where they were on the 6th floor, significantly less. We've also identified the need to address the issues to be done on the 4th and 6th floors before looking at bringing any other activity onto the 4th floor.
He says additional steps will be taken to address the problems.
The boiler room needs to be removed from where it is, outside of the building. It was built there because the design of the Cornwall Regional Hospital was a European design, built under the emergency room to provide warmth in the winter season. So that was the first mistake to begin with. Having said that, we need to correct it. And so if you put the boiler room outside of the hospital setting, in open air, open to the elements with the exhaust, then you have no cause for concern with a chimney stack running through the hospital from 3 to 10. And that must be a focus, a major focus in the next wave of work that we're doing.
In St. James, complaints are mounting as residents express concern about the pile-up of garbage, this time in the vicinity of Railway Lane in the parish capital, Montego Bay. Piles of garbage line the streets of the community, and residents say it has now reached the point where the odor is affecting businesses.
First of all, we need to educate our vendors how to keep the garbage safe from all this. What the first thing we need to do is to get some garbage containers to throw in so it can better control the garbage.
I don't really like it because at times we're over there working and the scent from here really affect us. Over there, there's a lot of business place happening right around the surrounding, and we would like to see something done about this.
Concerns were also raised earlier this week about garbage in other communities, as residents believe the issue may result in an outbreak of diseases. The St. Anne Fire Department has estimated the cost of damage from a fire at the Grand Bahia Principe Hotel in Runaway Bay, St. Anne yesterday morning at approximately 15 million Jamaican dollars. No one was injured in the fire, which started sometime after 2 Wednesday morning. Units from the St. Anne's Bay and Brownstown Fire Station responded but had challenges. A probe has commenced to determine the cause of the fire.
We were unable to get very close to the buildings with the units because of the compact layout of the premises. Immediately, as Brownstown unit arrived, which is a much smaller unit than the ones from St. Anne's Bay, they were able to maneuver their way closer to the building, and one medium jet was carried up through the building, and we were able to extinguish the blaze using that jet.
The damaged area is said to have been used as storage for several items, including chemicals. Telecommunications provider Digicel has apologized for the way in which it implemented the prepaid maintenance fee for customers whose monthly spend is less than $50. A statement from the telecoms company says it is conducting a review. Digicel has until tomorrow to respond to queries by the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR. The utilities regulator wants Digicel to provide evidence that it provided customers with sufficient advance notice, the exact amount to be charged, and the basis of the charge. In a letter dated June 23 to the OUR, Digicel advised that the purpose of the prepaid maintenance fee is to ensure that all customers contribute to the cost of operating and maintaining its systems and networks. The new measure took effect on June 22. In its response, the OUR noted that while Digicel has updated its terms and conditions on its websites with the prepaid maintenance fee, there is no indication of when its customers were notified. The OUR also expressed disappointment that Digicel did not notify it of the new fee prior to implementation. The Management Institute for National Development, MIND, will next month host its Regional Public Sector Leadership Development Conference. It will be held under the theme Adaptive Public Sector Leadership, Changing Mindsets, Challenging Assumptions, Creating Transformation. Speaking at the JIS think tank this week, Acting Manager for Customized Programs Delivery and Administration, Latoya Swaby Anderson, noted the aim of the conference.
It's expected to really challenge the mindsets of our public sector leaders as it relates to making sure that they're in a space or they understand the space in which they're not operating currently and how the space is changing and the environment is changing as well as we move forward as a country in our thrust for national development.
CEO at MIND, Dr. Ruby Brown, says the plan to provide effective leadership development at all levels as leadership can take place from anywhere in the organization.
Leaders, model the way. Make sure that you show up and show up with your whole self to the conference by being fully engaged. And at the same time, extend an invitation of greatness to others by having at least 2 persons come along with you. Not necessarily from your management team because they have that title, but from somewhere else in the organization. At least 2 persons. Take them along with you. Extend an invitation of greatness to them. Model the way.
Approximately 250 public sector executives, senior public officers, and senior leaders from the private sector and civil society are expected to attend the conference, which is slated for July 19 to 20. And that's the Midday News. I'm Herman Green. Join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports, and production teams, good afternoon.